what's going on in the real world. So let's get into some
Let's
things.
get into some things. Oh my goodness. I wanted to start with Breonna Taylor's case because I feel like that's very important right now. And I understand it pissed a lot of people off this week. And it was a bummer. Like, so basically what happened, the former LMPD officer was indicted. Oh, Brett Hackinson, I'm gonna make sure I say his name, was indicted of 3 counts of wanton endangerment in the first degree, meaning that he was not charged for the death of Breonna. He was also granted a $15,000 cash bond, and the other officers involved in the shooting were not charged. Now, according to Wave 3 News, Hackinson was charged for shooting 10 rounds outside of Breonna's apartment. Some of the shots ended up in adjacent units, which was why he was indicted. In the end, he was not charged for Breonna's death. The announcement comes almost 7 months after the shooting happened. So it's a mess.
For me, I just feel like it was a slap in the face.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, this young lady was in her home being protected by her man. You all had the wrong. First of all, they were looking for her ex-boyfriend who hadn't even been there in like over a year.
Mm-hmm.
He was already at the station.
Mm-hmm.
He was at the station while they were executing a no-knock warrant at her house. And then the only reason the other guy got indicted is because bullets went through somebody else's apartment. So you mean to tell me this girl died, and everyone that shot rounds at that place basically just got off. That's basically what they said.
Yeah.
And you know,
well, they say if he's tried in court, he'll get like what, 5 years?
Yeah, for shooting up somebody else's apartment. And he's probably not gonna get 5 years. Get 5 years, probably serve 1.
That's just a slap in the face.
But welcome to America. Like, if nothing else, like this is America, and should we have expected something different? You know, I feel like we were hopeful, but the reality is, like, you know, that this is our country.
This is our country.
This is what it looks like, and you know, I was like, pray for Louisville because they're gonna burn that place down.
Yeah, and I remember seeing this post and saying that, you know, we're not living in a broken system. This system did exactly what it was made to do.
Yeah, I posted that too. Yeah,
I think I got that from you.
This is what the system was designed for, is to protect property, and the government's always going to protect itself. But I mean, we just need to change that starts at the local level. Like, y'all need to pay attention to who you're voting in office at the local level, who your local officials are, who your state attorney generals are. Like, pay attention. Like, people are getting so exhausted by the idea of participating in politics, but what people fail to understand is that democracy requires participation. It requires it. It's not optional for you to just be like, oh, I'll vote for the president, not vote for my mayor or my state reps. Like, no,
crazy.
You need to participate at every level of government. We have to participate because if we want to get the people we want at the top, it starts at the bottom. It all starts at the bottom. Who are your police chiefs? Like, who gets those jobs is determined by, you know, who you elect for your city council. Like, we just have to be more diligent. And, you know, I hate the fact that we've gotten to a place where we're always reactionary, right? We're always reacting to these crazy happenstances in our country. And, you know, we get painted as if, you know, we're the villains because we're reacting to violence that's happening to us. And we're supposed to be peaceful about it. And instead of being reactionary, we have to act first. And I think one part is voting, another part is educating our communities, and you know, and really participating in changing the way this country looks, runs, and operates. So, but it was just sad. The whole Breonna Taylor situation was very sad, and the next day it was like, don't ask black folks for nothing. We are exhausted today.
You're exhausted, and I'm glad you brought up voting too, because that was another conversation that I was looking at on social media where a lot of people are using this as a way to be like, hey, well, does it even matter about this election? You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna change it? You know what I'm saying? Like they're talking about this this Biden and Trump election that's coming up. I'm like, look, let me tell you something. Now, don't be stupid now.
Like, yes, it does matter.
Yeah,
it most definitely does matter, and I think it's because of the way that's been handled. Like, this is the most violent. Oh, thank you. This is probably the craziest our country has been since I've been alive. As far as protesting and there's been protests almost every day since. Have y'all noticed that? Every day since this president has been in office, there has been protests every day about something. Every day. Every day.
Mess.
Every day. We're tired.
Yeah.
We're tired. And if we are going to change things, it happens. It's going to start at the polls. If our votes didn't matter, they wouldn't be trying so hard to discourage people from voting or taking advantage of the different ways to vote. So just vote. Y'all vote. Vote early, please.
Please.
We have to October 5th.
Look, you ain't got to vote no other time. It's just we just need to get this orange man out. You can do whatever you want afterwards.
Vote every other time. Let this be if you never voted for, let this be the beginning for you. Like, okay. Like register to vote. You got to meet. Like, just register to vote. You can do it online. Request a mail-in ballot.
And I know I made jokes. Yeah, I made jokes about this last the episode that you were in there because I was like, I feel like Biden ain't gonna be the best, but he definitely gonna maintain because things have gotten worse since Trump been in office. I'd rather maintain than worse. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, do I think Joe will do a better job than Trump? Yes, hell yeah.
I'm not even just maintaining. I think that because of the differences in policy and also the team that comes with Joe, I have to remind people, like, it's not just the president we're voting for. Yeah, they're the name and the face of the ticket, but you have to think about, the type of administration they're going to have, the type of the trust in experts that Joe Biden has, and believing in science, and that the experience that comes with it. And I think that with Trump, I do understand that he has like this regard for the common man, and like I do kind of support his idea that not everyone needs a college degree to be a leader in this country, and experience is a great teacher, and understanding your trade and mastering your field is just as comfortable with going to school for 4 years and learning about it. But there has to be a balance, and with certain things, we need people who have expert experience, people who understand data, people who understand how to apply it, people who understand, how to make analysis that actually benefit the majority of Americans outside of just taking care of the minority of the wealthy. And I think that is where we're headed. Like, we got to I don't think America's never going to be normal again. I think we passed the phase of us trying to be normal. We need to be healthy. Like, America, we need to be healthy at this point. Like, our country's dying, democracy is dying, people are dying. And I think that I trust a Biden-Harris administration way more than I do a Trump Clinton one at this point, because they've proven to be incompetent.
Oh, of course. And we got a little sidetrack because we started talking about Orange Man, but I wanted to go back and talk about the Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron, who held a press conference explaining Breonna Taylor's indictment, and also calls out celebrities for voicing their anger. Here's a little bit what he had to say.
There will be celebrities, influencers, and activists who, having never lived in Kentucky, will try to tell us how to feel, suggesting they understand the facts of this case and that they know our community and the Commonwealth better than we do. But they don't. Let's not give in to their attempts to influence our thinking or capture our emotions. At the end of the day, it is up to us. We live here together. We work here and raise our families here together.
Ciao. What's going on?
I don't know, child. I just looked at that and I was like, well, he basically just told y'all to mind y'all business and let the police continue to kill Kentucky black folks in peace.
I mean, that's what it sounds like to me.
Like for you to cut up there and try to piece together something else, and it was very accusatory, is what his press conference gave us. Like very accusatory. And after seeing him at the Republican National Convention, I didn't expect anything other than what I saw. I expected him to get up there and to regurgitate the mantra about law and order. And
they kill me with that law and order.
I can't expect it. Now we are a nation that requires law and order. I get it, but it was very tone deaf.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is about perspective. In this particular situation, it was incompetent. It should have been at least negligent homicide, negligent manslaughter. Like there could have been charges brought against.
Could have been people. Something, but no,
something, anything.
But because he was shooting at somebody's apartment. That's the reason. Right.
And
that's
then
crazy.
It's like, well, he shot at them first. Like, well, first of all, was it a no-knock warrant or was it not a no-knock warrant? Because your mayor, or like the mayor of the city, and other local officials were saying they're working on trying to change that,
mm-hmm.
change the law to make no-knock warrants a thing of the past. But he got on TV and said that it wasn't a no-knock warrant, that it actually was a warrant for the arrest of her ex-boyfriend. And then they have this unidentified eyewitness corroborate the story, saying that the police knocked. Now, where they come from? They were outside waiting. They saw the police. They were just sitting on their porch.
Oh, that they knocked.
Who are these people?
Child, you knew if you was gonna knock somebody's door down, and is it not a stand your ground state?
Right. Well, I mean, listen, black families aren't allowed to protect themselves. All the things that I got from this past year is that black people, no matter what we do, whether
mm-hmm.
we comply, whether we don't comply, whether we're law-abiding citizens or whether we're in a stand your ground state or not, black people are not allowed to protect themselves in this country. That's what I got from this entire thing. We're not allowed to protect ourselves in this country because the rules don't apply to us. Still, to this day, the same rules do not apply to us in practice as they do on paper. And that is what needs to change. That is why so many years later, when they say, why are we still fighting for equality and not revenge? It's like, well, on paper, we are equal on paper. But in practice,
but in all actuality,
that's not what we're seeing. And until those things match, we're always going to be at war within our own walls. And I think that the American people we're getting kind of tired and exhausted of it, and it needs to change. We realize that Donald Trump, no matter what you do with this economy, the idea of having a booming economy means that if everybody's making money, everybody's going to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If everybody got a job, you're too busy to rob and steal and kill, right?
Yes.
So let's bring jobs back. Let's get people to work. Let's eradicate this dream of you have to go to college to get a good job, because we know for a fact that's not true. You go to college 4 or 5 years, you amass all this debt and realize that there aren't even jobs open for you when you graduate.
Child, don't step on my toes, honey.
So now you have to work in a field that doesn't even require a degree. You're working in a trade field where people can go to school for 2 years, get a trade, and become managers over you while you have a 4 to 6 year degree. And you're working for people who've never stepped on a college campus.
And the thing about it is, though, when we get these degrees and everything is like, okay, this is how much your wage is, people can deny you because, hey, your wage is too high. We can't pay you this much. And that's also that's a thing too. It's something that I worry about as a college student trying to get a job once I actually graduate here. I'm like, what the hell? That's why I feel like you ever just think to yourself, I'm like, yo, I feel like I cannot wait to graduate because I feel like there'll be so much weight. There's going to be so much weight that's going to build off my shoulders. Yes, because I feel like I'm doing all this. When I was in school. Yeah, I'm doing all this extra shit for what? I care about getting an internship. I care about getting some experience, because if I have experience, then I have a job. We're doing all this extra stuff for what? College definitely broadened my horizon to new things, and I've definitely done more and met a lot of people. I guess that part is good about it, but yeah, you are correct. Like, once you get out of college, it's going to be difficult. How are you going to change? How are you going to combat that, Mr. President?
Right, child. I've determined that America is a city girl.
Yeah,
it's a scam.
Mm-hmm.
She just want our coin. That's all.
Yeah, they want your coin when you're alive. They want your coin when you die.
Your coin when you're dead. Right.
They just
So
like they
do
did.
while you alive to go and taste that bag.
Yeah, right. Either way, if you owe, your family gonna owe.
All right.
I'm like, that is so crazy. That is so crazy. But that's the country that we live in, child.
Biden Harris 2020.
Yes, please.
Please just go vote, y'all.
Oh, well, you heard Trump releases a platinum plan for Black Americans, aims to invest a $500 billion in Black communities so they can like start businesses and stuff. I was looking at this shit on the Shade Room.
I believe when I see it.
I'm like, child, you a day late and $1 short.
You know what's funny? And it's crazy to see the people that were sharing it too. I saw it on Twitter. I haven't watched that video, but the same people who were, you know, coming at Kamala Harris for her HBCU, her HBCU plans and her Black agenda, saying that a Black woman, was pandering on behalf of the Democrats for a Black vote, are the same people retweeting this shit from Donald Trump, as if this is not pandering to Blacks. This man got on national television last week and said that he has done more for the Black people in America than any other president except for Abraham Lincoln, and he honestly believes that. He believes it. And there, excuse me, I forgot we on air. There are people who will agree with him. And I really ask, like, how has your life changed since he's been president, besides you being stuck at home getting unemployment right now? How has it changed?
It hasn't.
In a positive way.
We wouldn't have to do all this shit if it wasn't for this pandemic, which could have been prevented.
Could have been avoided
because there was plans set in place by the previous administration. You know,
right?
It's just crazy.
Obama was intelligent.
Yeah.
We're living in the upside down. And I had another conversation. I know that we have Caucasian listeners, and I want you to know we love you so much and thank you for your support. But in a real sense, I think I had a conversation with somebody about, like, what is the Congressional Black Caucus and the National American Indians Council? Like, I'm surprised they haven't, like, joined together and, like, had, like, trying to lead a conversation about being Black and brown and red in this country. Like, how, like, just taking ourselves out of this situation and just looking at it. What have white people created in the history of white people that was not destructive? What have they created?
I don't know.
That has not. What system have they created that is not self-destructive? Tribes and civilizations survived for thousands of years peacefully, in abundance. This is capitalism. This is we're living in a time where my grandmother used to say Babylon will always fall. No matter how many times you build it back up, Babylon's always going to fall. And it's like that's Americanism. We're entering into a Babylonian era where no matter what we put our hands to, it's going to crumble. And looking at the type of leaders we've chosen, it's just so sad.
It is, and it's sad. I hate that this is gonna, probably affect my baby cousins. I mean, me, shit. I mean, look, I just got grown. Why this happening now? My parents ain't never been through this.
Right.
I mean, they lived through the 80s and stuff like that. 80s was messed up too.
Well,
but this,
I agree. Yeah, it's a lot. Well, we're a chosen generation. I think that we're living through this time because we're supposed to participate and we're supposed to see it, be witnesses to it, and be inspired to change and act and create the type of future that we want. And if nothing else, y'all should be inspired by this stuff. Like, don't get discouraged. Be inspired to participate in the change. Like, vote. Like, organize. Like, talk to your families. Like, raise your children to understand the world, the global world that we're living in. And but you have to do it till you're blue in the face.
Right. You got to.